we first opened our doors.
Since 1926.
Since 1978.
For 60 years.
For 75 years.
For over 80 years.
In 90 years.
Over 100 years.
Nationwide has been on your side.
Restaurants have always been there for you.
Nissan has been with you through thick and thin.
We will do what we've always done.
Take care of people.
We're people.
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 People and family.
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 Families are families. Families.
Even now.
Especially now.
Especially now.
Right now.
Now more than ever.
More than ever.
Today, more than ever.
Today, more than ever.
In times like this.
At times like these.
During these difficult times.
In these troubled times.
Challenging times.
Trying times.
In these times of uncertainty.
During this time of great uncertainty.
During these uncertain times.
During these uncertain times.
In uncertain times.
In uncertain times.
Uncertain times.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
This unprecedented moment in our history.
It's time of social distancing.
While things have slowed down.
As we turn more inside.
While the doors may be closed.
While the distance between us has gotten bigger.
The more we stay apart.
We still find ways to stay close. Even when we're apart.
Even if we can't stand closer than 6 feet.
We can all stay connected to work, school, and most importantly, to each other.
There's still ways to touch each other.
All without leaving the comfort and safety of your home.
Without leaving the safety of your home.
From home.
Home. Your home.
At home.
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 Home. Home. Home.
Home. Home. That's the key.
Buick and GMC are here to help.
Con Edison is here to help.
Here to help.
Our teams are here.
We are here.
We're here.
We're here.
Here for you.
Here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
We'll be here for you.
Runnings is here for you.
We're still here for you.
We're with you.
We're part of your community.
So you can trust us.
You can count on us.
And we'll get through this. Together.
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 Together. Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
Together.
We're together.
Together. And together.
Together.
Together. Together.
Together.
Together.
Together. Together.
Together.
Together.
MasterCard.
Hey Lucy, you hear about this Mark of the Beast worldwide global vaccination program put in place by the gates of hell? Yeah, they've been doing that to us dogs for a while. You should see how many vaccines I'm supposed to get just to travel across their invisible lines. But thankfully my daddy here just pays off the veterinarian so I don't have to get sick. Sure was weird. Every major company in the world all put out the exact same commercial with the exact same music and the exact same propaganda. What a coincidence. How could they possibly have all had the exact same idea for the same commercial? It's almost like everything's all kind of controlled from the top, just like with the news. And the propaganda is getting incredibly heavy. Unbelievable, actually. It's just, it was bad before, but nothing like this. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. I guess places like East Germany or places like that really saw this level, but now they're doing it in the US and all over the place. I don't actually watch TV, so I didn't see any of those commercials. But I was forwarded that shows a bizarre coincidence that they're all putting out the same stuff, and it actually all comes with the same sort of mind control sort of stuff in it. The music obviously to put you into this sort of a fear mode or a sad mode, telling you the exact same message to everyone. We have to take the vaccines, we have to stick together, We have to shelter in place. It's all just another facet of the propaganda assault going on people out there. And man, there's so much to talk about. I could literally do 10 hours today on just what happened basically in the last day. Oil fell below $0 a barrel, way below, for the May contract, which is just about to expire. But yesterday, the May contract for oil was about $22 a barrel. Today was around minus $50. So whoever bought that contract expecting their worst case scenario would be they lost their investment, found out, no, that wasn't the worst case scenario. They ended up paying a ton just for buying that contract, which is currently below zero. Like I said, it almost hit $50, negative $50 per barrel of oil. Oh man, there's so much stuff. But the one big thing I wanted to talk about today is that it's pretty much now proven that not only is Bill Gates following exactly this mark of the beast sort of system, but he's doing it intentionally, because it just came out, or I found out anyway. Someone sent this to me. I looked it up. It looks like it's a legitimate patent. I can't even believe this is true. First of all, the patent number is 666, 606060. In numerology, as I learned from Christine Lagarde of the IMF, you take out the zeros. So it's just 666. It was filed on March 6th of, I believe, this year. March 6th, 3 sixes. So that led me to go, okay, I got to reread this Bible part where they talk about the mark of the beast. And as I was rereading it, I was like, what the heck? This is exactly what's going on. Pretty much like word for word. So I'll actually read through the entire, I believe it's Revelations 3 or something like that. And I'll read through the entire thing because I think it's kind of pertinent right now that Bill Gates wants to create a system. Oh, I didn't even say what the patent's for. You won't believe it. It's a patent to chip everyone in the world and have them as sort of slaves mining cryptocurrency for them. So I'll get into that in a bit more. Like, is this real? Like, wow, not even trying to hide. But before we get into a bit more on the patent, which is crazy, let me read, I think it's Revelation 13. The beast from the sea. Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast, which I saw, was like a leopard, his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him power, his throne, and great authority. So right there, it's kind of saying this beast, which I take to mean as basically the people controlling the world, the governments, central banks, those sort of things. Now, if there's 10 of them or 7 of them at the end of this, I don't know. But it puts right there that this thing has its power from authority, which is the belief in government, that people actually believe this system has power over them. And I saw one of his heads as it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. So again, this is like most of those brainwashed people I've been talking about that are actually going along, following the governments, actually wanting the governments to do all this stuff, take over everything, vaccinate them, chip them, everything. And so that's basically what that line is saying, as it says, and all the world marveled and followed the beast. And that's generally the case today, as I've been saying. So they worship the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Now that I take to mean as sort of the dragon is the order followers. That's the military and the cops. And they're enforcing the things of the authority, the governments and the central banks. And at this part it says, who is able to make war with him? I take that to mean that they're going to go towards this one world government, one world army, and no one will be able to ever stop this force ever again at that point. It'll just be too powerful. And it goes on. And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And he was given authority to continue for 42 months. So that's like today, the blasphemies, the things they're speaking is all the propaganda that they put out through the government and the media. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. Once again, talking about a one world government that will be fully controlled everywhere in the world. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If anyone has an ear, let him hear. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. That's a quote or a comment I've been saying for quite a while now. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. And it's like almost everyone in the world, not everyone, but a lot of people are unable to see what's going on. They don't have eyes to see or ears to hear. They've been fooled by all the propaganda and all that stuff so deeply, like in the Matrix, they can never escape it. And as it says here, he who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Now that's interesting. And that's what I've been saying as well, is those who lead people into captivity will also go into captivity. And he who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. So I take that to mean that all the people who are leading the people in this direction, they're going to go with them. And I've been saying this for a while, that anyone who works for any government, works for the police, works in the military, anything of that stuff, if you think that you're going to escape what you're bringing on other people, you're not. It's very clear. I think military people already know this. In the US, more than 20 killed themselves every day because they know that they get treated incredibly, incredibly, incredibly bad, of course. And pretty soon the police are going to find out they're next. So all the people enforcing this stuff are all going to end up going down with this system. And it finishes, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And it continues with the beast from the earth. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and spoke like a dragon. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. This might be to do with what they've been doing in so-called space, whatever that area above us is, and which I don't know anything about, because the only info we really get is from lying government agencies like NASA. But they've been doing, look at all the stuff they're doing with Space Force, Super Space Force, Trump Space Force, hooray! Yeah, it's basically put there to enslave you and every human generation for eternity. And they might use something like that to rain fire down on the earth to make people, what did they say here? Yeah, just rain fire down on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs in which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. And I've been talking a lot about this. That's basically, we'll get into this chip that Bill Gates wants to put into everyone. That's basically what it is. And it'll be anyone who wants to, you know, be any part of any sort of society here on Earth will have to have this in one form or another. If we lose, I'll get into that maybe a little later. We may not lose this, but we'll see. And that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So I've already talked about this Mark of the Beast system. You can go back and look at that video. It's just a week or two ago. But now with Bill Gates coming out with a patent, number 60606, filed on March 6. Here is what he's filing a patent for. The black box computers gives the human a device coupled to their body, which is a chip, with a numbered cryptocurrency wallet. The person is monitored and communicated with over the internet via the coupled device to their body, which means it's injected into them. A person is given credits, money, cryptocurrency based on the body's movements, physical compliance, labor movements, with which you can then use to buy and sell. Wow. A lot of us have been wondering what this Mark of the Beast thing was for centuries. Could never have guessed this. So Bill is, he's behind everything going on right now. He's behind ID 2020, which is where they want to basically have chips injected into people, and everyone will be marked on Earth with this number, the number of the beast, and their own numbers so that they can be tracked and tagged and taxed and all that kind of stuff, basically just like cattle. And I kind of wondered, how are they going to do this? Wow, I had no idea it'd get this creepy. And that a lot of people, like I've shown in past videos, they're lining up to get chipped. They are the ones without eyes to see or ears to hear. And even if you forwarded them this video, they're not going to hear it, probably. But you can keep trying. Sometimes you can wake people up. Even a lot of people watching this channel, you probably didn't believe a lot of what you currently believe 10 years ago, right? So it is possible, but very few seem to be able to wake up. But to have this Mark of the Beast system, so basically people be tracked, tagged, taxed. They won't be allowed to do anything without this chip. And he'll be tracking your body movements, and you'll get a certain stipend of cryptocurrency, it says, paid from basically the government for your slavery, basically. That's how you won't be able to make money otherwise.
Can you show me some identification?
No, my house was completely destroyed. I just ran.
You will need some ID to cross the border.
I've got nothing on me. What can I do? I'm a father. I'm trying to find my family. Please, I'm scared.
Hi, how can I help you?
My child needs to be vaccinated.
Okay, can I get your name?
I am Nia.
And your date of birth?
I don't know my date of birth. I don't have a birth certificate.
Don't you have any form of ID? I'm sorry, Nia, we need something that proves who you are and where you were born.
Can you please help me? I'm here on holidays, but I've lost my passport and my flight leaves tomorrow.
That will take some time to process.
But I need to get back. Family emergency. What can I do?
Can I get your name?
Can you show me some identification?
Don't you have any form of ID?
Please help me.
What if your identity was always in your hands? An identity you can trust, that others can trust? What if this digital identity was always at your fingertips, and people could verify your identity in a few simple steps? What if you were in control of your data and how it's shared with others? What if this personal, portable identity helped you to learn, work, and live? What if showing who you are was as easy as saying, I am.
I am Yusuf.
Across the globe, the pieces are coming together to make this happen. Accenture, Microsoft, and Avanade have teamed up to create the prototype you've seen in action. It's a first step towards a digital identity solution for all.
Absolutely insane. I really can't believe, here goes Lucy. Yeah, she's my girl. How far he's taken this and how well it's going for him. And what does the word COVID mean, do you think? Well, it looks a lot like it means Certificate of Vaccination ID. All in plain sight. Kind of reminds me when Trump was just became president or something. He put like COVFEF, C-O-V-F-E-F-E in one of his tweets. And a lot of the brainwashed people really like jumped on it and they, because no one knew what it meant. So they're like COVFEF, and it must mean something. C-O-V, COVID. So it's pretty amazing how, oh, these guys are unbelievable how they do all this stuff. And now, of course, well, first of all, you have a lot of people really getting angry about this lockdown, which is good. And hopefully really standing up to it, which is good. But at the same time, in the place like the US, they've got the tanks rolled out to almost every state now, troops everywhere. So they're ready for, if you get a little angry that you're stuck, you're enslaved in your own house. So this is going to get very, very interesting. And there's been a number of lockdown protests. And there's one very interesting one where all these people, in mostly pickup trucks and stuff like that, were very angry that they're not allowed to work or live, or basically they've been enslaved overnight. They're kind of angry about that. I don't know why. On the mainstream media, they're very confused as to why anyone would be angry about this. And the nurses actually came out, and it was like, in the old days, it used to be like the Nazis versus the Antifa, even though they're the exact same thing. But here it was basically people who want some freedom and they want to survive, and the nurses are out there protesting them. Shouldn't the nurses, just thinking here, you know, if it's a war zone, if it's a huge epidemic and everyone's dying, shouldn't they be in the hospital working? Thing is, almost all hospitals are empty. There was even a great article put out by, it was on medium.com, I think, Professor Hinckley, and he was basically talking about how, the title of the article is, Why is Oregon Still in Lockdown? And he goes into the numbers, basically saying that the virus is already running its course here. Portland's largest single employer is Oregon Health Sciences University with over 17,000 employees. U.S. News and World Report voted OHSU the best hospital in Oregon. They treated over 300,000 patients last year and currently have 562 staffed hospital beds. OSHU also has taken the rare step of publicizing all of their COVID-19 data for anyone to see, which makes it easy to determine how many Oregonians are currently hospitalized at OHSU for COVID-19. And that number, as of April 4th of this year, is, wait for it, 6 people. There's 6 supposed COVID people that are in hospitals in Oregon. And the entire state has been locked down for like weeks now, at least, because I reported on that quite a long time ago. So these nurses have tons of time. They're just doing nonstop TikTok videos. Actually, a lot of hospitals have started to lay people off because they're all empty. But they're also making a ton of money. If anyone comes in, they just have to say it's COVID, and they basically get $50,000. So this has been just a huge scam, swindle for the hospitals, stealing basically your money. And so we've had a number of lockdown protests. And of course, who comes out? FBI book, Mark Zuckerberg, one of the Rothschilds, saying they're going to remove anything related to lockdown protests off of Facebook. Unbelievable. This is so Orwellian, like way more like, I think reading Orwell's 1984 book would be boring now because it's nowhere near as interesting as what's going on right now, which is way worse. But at least Mark Zuckerberg isn't trying to kidnap people and put them in cages for trying to post about a lockdown. But look at this thing. New Law Commissioner Penny Lewis is leading wide-ranging review into whether the UK's offence and abuse laws are fit for the social media age, talking about
That's nasty.
making it criminal to post anti-vaccine posts on social media. Now, I don't know what that thing was. Like, I'm not even gonna say anything. Horrendous, whatever that thing was. And that thing wants to have order followers kidnap you and put you into a cage or a rape camp if you post anything sort of negative about vaccines on social media. Unbelievable. I can't believe what's going on. Now there's even an airline, I believe, that wants to take your blood before you get on a flight.
Now look what else we're about to accept as normal. We better not accept it as normal. But I have this sneaking feeling that if history shows us anything about ourselves and about our predecessors in other countries, we're going to just cave to this thing too. Airlines, this is from Fox News. Airlines use blood test on passengers before flights to curb the spread of CV-19.
Oh, and getting back to Kill Gates of Hell, also known as Bill Gates, check out this magazine cover from 1997. I don't think it's still around. I remember hearing about it in the 90s. Might still be around, who knows. But it features Bill Gates, where it says on the front page, talks to John Kennedy about Murdoch, money, and world domination. Okay? And in the article itself, it says, worst case scenario, an overpopulated planet choked to extinction by a lung attacking virus. Wow. He's like he's a time traveler. He can read the future. That's exactly what happened, and all basically done by him. He had the patents for coronavirus like a long time ago. He's been developing the vaccines for it. He's been hosting all the events, getting ready for it. He's got all of his top people inside pretty much every government, especially Trump. Everyone's surrounded. Trump is all controlled by Gates. This guy's amazing. Like, talk about someone you didn't expect to be the most evilest person ever. I've never really liked Bill Gates. I've kind of known about him since the early 80s because I was very involved in computers at the time. Never really got a good feeling about him. And of course, there's Steve Ballmer, who was the CEO, who's patently insane.
Steve Ballmer! Developers.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I never would have guessed Bill Gates would turn out to be possibly the most evil person in human history at this point, if he could get through what he wants to get through. Yeah, so pretty interesting. Just unbelievable times right now. And there's so much crazy stuff going on. As I said at the start of this video, I could do a 10-hour video easily. I'm not gonna. I'll die of too much sun, and Lucy will definitely be too hot. But talk about oil going down to like negative $35. It's very interesting for the petrodollar, isn't it? Probably gonna wipe it all out pretty soon. This will be the kind of financial reset, and they'll come back with a one world global digital currency. So you might want to get prepared for that now, have the right things. Obviously, cryptocurrencies is one of the only places you have a chance to survive, and obviously precious metals as well. And definitely subscribe to the Dollar Vigilante newsletter, dollarvigilante.com/subscribe. Ed Bugos is just putting out an alert. Should be out by the time you see it. I've seen him writing it. Basically, I'm taking advantage of investments into the oil sector with oil at negative $35. So he'll probably have another huge trade there like he usually does. And of course, the cryptos are, so important to get into. If you don't have any, you got to. Don't have your money in a bank right now. Everything's going down. Do you not see this? Oil, negative $35. Everyone in the world locked in their house. They're going to take everything down. And this is all to push everyone into basically poverty and beg for their new world order system to give them all their universal basic income, which they've already started without anyone having a problem with it. In fact, most people were in favor of it. And they've now talked about the US government paying the rent or mortgage of people for the next year. Okay? That shouldn't cost too much. That will all go onto the debt, which there's another dog, a little fluffy one. I always see him around. Yeah, so cute. Let's see. So the only things that are going to be left standing at the end is probably cryptocurrencies, some of them, not all of them, obviously. So you got to make sure you're smart, and precious metals. So if you're not into that stuff, definitely sign up to our newsletter. If you want to buy, I would be buying silver right now. It's so undervalued compared to gold. But I would also buy some gold. I'm kind of like 80% silver, 20% gold right now. Gold still has a lot of great important value as well. Where's Lucy? Lucy? Lucy, Ben? Ben? And you can still buy some in the US at dollarvigilante.com/gold silver. And if you want to buy it in Singapore and hold it in a vault there and take out a loan against it, which I love, which also really adds to the fact that it's not a scam sort of a place. Like if you can buy silver and then get a loan in cash back for your silver for most of the amount, that pretty much shows this isn't like a scam. These people aren't ripping you off because they can't. They have it set up so they can't even do that. So that's great. I actually have talked to them a lot over the years. I was supposed to visit their vault a couple of years ago and I just missed. I was supposed to fly there when I was going to Australia, and there was a storm and like a hurricane, like a number 5. What do they call them over there? They don't call them hurricanes. Typhoon, I think. And so we ended up going to Hong Kong instead of Singapore. So I didn't go to the vault. But you can go to dollarvigilante.com/gold silver. Or sorry, silver bullion is the one in Singapore. Check it out. I really like it. I also like Mike Maloney's gold silver. It's really good. I've been buying up lots lately. So they're talking about having everyone on UBI, paying everyone's rent or mortgage for a year. And they're also now talking about bailing out all the oil companies. So how many trillions of dollars are going to be printed up, counterfeited by the Federal Reserve, and put into debt the American people for this entire thing? Like it looks like it's going to be easily, well, it's already in the tens of trillions. 100 trillion? Like there's not going to be anything left of anything at the end of this. So do you think things are going to get back to normal? No. No matter what, there's going to be some major problems ahead because this collapse of everything is going to continue. No pensions are going to be left. Everything's going to be wiped out. Most banks won't be left. In fact, I think that's part of their plan, is to wipe out the retail banks and just do it direct from the Fed with their Fed Now stuff. So basically, the U.S. will be so indebted that it's like beyond belief. If the U.S. continues on, which I hope it doesn't, and that's everything that we try to help with, not only your grandkids, but your great-grandkids, and for hundreds of years, they'll be paying off that debt in various forms. But it also will get kind of hyperinflated away, but they're going to do something so you still have to pay it, of course. You always get screwed. And basically, the Federal Reserve ends up owning everything. They own like most of the bonds now, even the crappy junk bonds they own. They say they're buying the stock market. And soon they're going to own most of your homes because you're not going to be able to pay for them. That's what happened in 2008. So at the end of this, the Federal Reserve will own everything and almost everyone will be wiped out. Pretty optimistic outlook, eh? But that is pretty clearly the case of what's going on. So we'll see what happens. You know, getting back to from Revelation and stuff like that, I've been looking into the apocalypse in the Bible a lot lately too. I'm like, what's going on here? And it's basically saying this thing is going to take over for a while. That's what it is right now. But I think there still is hope or a chance that we can still, at least us personally, survive it and prosper from it. But we could still change the world and actually make it so it isn't a complete slave camp for the entire world for the rest of history, if we can wake up enough people. So that's why I always say just share this information, but also just take care of yourself. Make sure you've got precious metals, got crypto, you got some food stored, you're growing your own garden. We haven't even hit the food shortages yet. That's coming up soon. So many places shutting down. Up where I'm from in Alberta, Canada, they just shut down the major meat packer where it supplies most of the beef to most of Canada, Western Canada. It's shut down, so prices are going to start to skyrocket in certain things. No one's going to be able to afford to do anything pretty soon. And they'll just be begging for a little bit more on their universal basic income. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know that I just continue to work on myself. And the more you work on yourself, the more you really realize that life isn't really real. It's not as serious. It's sort of what Bill Hicks said. It's just a ride that we went on for some reason. So don't get too depressed or anything about any of this stuff. Just enjoy the crazy ride. I think there's a Chinese saying or something about may you live in, I can't remember if it's really crazy times or really peaceful times. I think it's crazy times. But yeah, this is like 5-star video game right now. I can't believe it. All the worst villains, Bill Gates, George Soros, the Queen. And they're all trying to kill the entire world population and enslave them all. And it's up to you to survive or win. It's the best game I've ever played. It's super, super realistic. Look at how realistic everything is. It's like way better than any other video game out there. Like you can even make video games in the video game. This is, it's pretty amazing. And so enjoy the ride. Well, you have two choices, right? You can get really depressed, really sad, really mad, or you could just enjoy it. So since you have that choice, why not choose the easier one? It's a lot more fun just to enjoy the ride, see what happens. And man, I don't know where this is going because this is the craziest thing in pretty much human history right now. And it's just getting started. So I really don't know what's going to happen. Do you, Lucy? Do you know what's going to happen? Well, yeah, kind of in a little bit. I know I'm going to get some tacos. I know I'm going to drink some water. And I know I'm going to give lots of kisses. What else is there to know?
You've seen the Dollar Vigilante on mainstream media trolling the fake news, and seen Jeff Berwick travel inside places like Venezuela and Cuba to expose the truth about what's happening in those socialist paradises. To get even more, make sure to subscribe to the Dollar Vigilante newsletter to receive 2 full 30-plus page issues from the Dollar Vigilante each month, plus market alerts on precious metals, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and gold mining stocks by going to dollarvigilante.com/subscribe. Click on the link in the notes below or go to dollarvigilante.com/subscribe to find out more.